Have I ever told you just how perfect a subcompact tractor is for tilling?
Aye, laddie, you have.
Frequently. I love using little Johnny to till. Now, typically I would take the front loader off and put the front weights on, but one of the tilling jobs that we have lined up for this afternoon, we may need the loader. So I thought I would go ahead and lead it on. Well,
you don't want to tell us yet?
Yeah, because who knows, we may not. Mary, you're going to have to stay home. I know. Got to have a little belly scratching. I'm a little disappointed in Mary. I opened the door here to the little trailer, and there was the biggest mouse nest I'd ever seen in there.
Uh-oh. Mary, you've not done your job.
So we're going to have to do something about that. I did find one wire that had all the insulation eaten off of it, but the wire hadn't been eaten through, so I taped it up pretty good and got most of the mouse nest out. Yeah, we have 3 jobs today. Only one of them is a repeat. So we've got 2 new customers we're going to go visit. I have no idea if it's dry enough for them because, well, again, they're new customers, so they're not familiar with our ways of testing for dryness. It seems a little bit early. Again, we haven't done any tilling yet. This is the first tilling of the season. Mary, you got to stay home. Christy, you got to go with me.
I'll stay home with Mary.
Well, let's get going.
Look, she's like...
Yeah, he's wanting a belly scratching down there, see? Yeah, that's all right, isn't it?
Our first tilling here is your basic backyard variety. Tilling is a great job during social distancing. This family reached out through a social community app. Last spring and fall we had advertised that we do tilling. We did all of our communication via text. Tim and I have several basic questions we ask everyone who wants us to till for them. Often Tim is busy, so I'm the one that's communicating with our customers. The first is, what size garden are they wanting tilled? I usually ask where the garden is located and if there is a fence. I learned early on that we have to be able to get through these backyard fences in order to get to their gardens. A lot of fence gates are not wide enough for the 1025R to get through. The homeowner here said there was no fence. He didn't think to mention that his backyard neighbor has a fence. It turned out to be okay, but I'm glad we didn't bring any larger tractor. Didn't think to ask him if there was anything that would keep us from maneuvering around the garden like this little retaining wall here. These types of things just add time to how long it takes us to till their garden. I'll often ask them to send me a picture of the area. I forgot to do it this time. And of course I ask for their address. This helps me determine how far away it is from our house. I also try to ask if it's sod or if it's been tilled before. If it's sod, of course it's going to take longer for us to till it. We try to schedule multiple tillings for one day. It takes us time to hook up the tiller and get it loaded on the trailer, so we like to do more than one at a time.
Christy, I usually till them twice, but this looks perfect. I don't know what I could do any better. I think it's ready to go.
Guess it was dry enough.
Yeah, it's perfect. This is, it's ready to plant right now. It's breaking up nicely.
Tilling job number 2. This will become a flower garden. This is probably the 4th or 5th year we've tilled this garden. The property owner, Rod, has actually become a friend of ours. He's a soil scientist that graduated from Purdue. Boiler up! We often get asked how much do we charge to do something like tilling. We don't like to answer that question because there's just too many variables. The size of each garden varies. The type of soil varies from garden to garden. The distance from our house varies. The difficulty getting into the area varies. The obstacles vary once you're actually in the area. Sometimes the requests vary. Rod asked that we go over his garden 3 times. Other customers are happy with twice. Sometimes they're happy with once. We've done tilling for people up to an hour away, sometimes an hour and a half away from our house. These customers have been willing to pay more because we have to drive further to get there. So you can see that there's no one-price-fits-all model.
That's right, Christy. One of the things that I like to point out is that
you gain experience over time. Early on, your experience level is low, and you really shouldn't be charging much, if any at all. It's just not fair to the customer. We did all of our work for free for the first year, almost 2 years. We usually worked for friends, neighbors, maybe other references that would come across, people that understood that we might not have the applicable experience. As we have gained experience, it's become easier to understand what the market will bear and to understand how difficult a project's going to be. Overall, I found that once you have sufficient experience, you'll know the answer to the question of what to charge. Until then, charge very little or nothing.
Now, Rod, we've done your garden, I believe, 5 years now.
Yeah, I think so.
This was not necessarily a very rich garden when we started it. You have done wonders on this thing.
Thank you very much.
I mean, it's a dark, rich-looking soil that works a lot better than it did.
Yeah, than it did 5 years ago.
So, did you get any good flower pictures last year?
I got an abundance of good flower pictures, hummingbird pictures, goldfinch pictures.
That sounds good. Well, you need to send us some of those. We'll include those in our video. Our viewers really like seeing your photos.
Oh, good. Well, be sure to put the link on there because I enjoy having people see them.
Yeah. Christy, did you see that tool he's got here?
I saw the flamethrower.
A flamethrower.
It is awesome.
Johnny's usually the star of the show. I'm afraid Johnny's going to be showing up today.
I think so too.
I'm excited about seeing that flamethrower. Binford 3000 model, I think. He said he has a little one for home use, but this one's the big boy.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get started here with the boring work.
I'm gonna go watch the
You go
cool
watch
work.
the
Yeah.
fire flamethrower.
Yeah.
Usually I have someone watching my back in case I get a flame up behind me. I'll make sure you don't. Okay, give me a holler. Okay.
Well, I was expecting more flames. Phil explained that he was actually trying to kill the weed seeds. He and some friends had removed a tarp from this area early in the morning. He had noticed a bunch of weed seeds once that tarp was removed. I had never seen one of these before, so I did a little research when I got home. It turns out that killing weeds with flames has been around, well, since the 1940s, and probably even earlier than that. Today it's called flame weeding. You pass a flame over a weed briefly to heat the plant tissue just enough to kill them. It quickly boils the water in the plant cells, causing them to burst, or pop. The goal isn't really to burn up the weed. It apparently only takes about 1/10 of a second to kill the seed or weed.
As you maybe guessed, not something you want to do on a windy day.
No, definitely not.
In fact, if you can do it after it rains, it's ideal. If the seeds can be wet, it doesn't matter. The fire will still pop them, but then everything else doesn't catch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Flame weeding will kill the above ground portion of the weed, but it doesn't kill the roots. Tilling this ground will kill any weeds that have sprouted already. Just in case you're wondering, there are tractor-powered flaming kits available, for those of you who like playing with fire.
I forgot to take off my winter cover. So it says we're heating. Uh-oh. Blueberry Cheerios. Get some today. Christy, this video is not sponsored by Blueberry Cheerios.
No.
Did you like them?
No, they're blueberry. Ugh.
But why'd you get them then?
For you and Catril.
Did we like them?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Have I mentioned how great a subcompact tractor is for tilling? It seems like every spring I continue to be surprised just how good of a job it does and how maneuverable it is. Wow, it really is a perfect fit. I didn't have room to maneuver without moving some of that mulch, so I decided I would just pile it up in a bigger pile. Naturally, while I'm doing it, Christy's volunteering me for more work. That's okay, because we can move a lot of this mulch in a couple of minutes, and it would take a long time with a wheelbarrow and a pitchfork. Here's another good application for the Heavy Hitch Toothbar. Remember, you can get yours at heavyhitch.com and use coupon code TTWT for a 5% discount on your entire purchase. Not just a toothbar, all Heavy Hitch products.
Phil, we got it tilled.
Oh, we got it tilled fantastically. Yeah. This is better than I could have done in way faster of time as well.
So this is your first year with this garden?
With this plot, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been grown on before, but it had been a minute. So I knew there was good soil in there. I just wanted to bring it back to life a little bit.
Yeah, I think there is good soil, especially on this end. Up here, it's not quite as heavy. It's maybe not quite as good, but hey, I want to ask you about that flamethrower.
Oh yeah.
I was a little disappointed. I was wanting to see big fire. What was going on there?
Yeah, so actually this flame weeder, it works really well after rain, because really what it's trying to do, you know, imagine you have a dandelion, something with a good root system.
Yeah.
You pop the top off of that, that root's still under there, it's going to come right back.
Yeah.
So on a full-size weed, it's not as dramatic as you might expect, because you're really not trying to burn those down. Those you're going to have to get in and get the root. Yeah. But what it's really good for is weed seeds and seeds that are maybe just germinated. What it's really trying to do is pop the cell walls of those seeds and those little germinated seeds.
Okay.
And so, you know, if you run it through and it's a nice non-windy day, you don't want things catching and blowing away. And even after the rain, it's really nice, because anything big and dry might not catch as much, but still in an instant you're going to pop those weed seeds. So that's what I was doing. I had noticed we had a lot of weed seeds in this area, so before we tilled them into the soil, I wanted to run the flamethrower over top of it just real quickly and kill all those back.
Okay.
Nice
That's
clean
really cool.
seed bed.
Now, what are you going to grow here?
We're going to grow a bunch of different things here, but we're going to focus a lot on herbs. So we're going to have some mints here, some different herbs going into cocktails, some
For
edible,
local restaurants, right?
For some local restaurants, yeah. I'm going to be working with a local series of restaurants. I'm not sure if I can disclose yet. They haven't announced it yet, and so I don't want to say yet.
No,
but
it doesn't matter.
We're going to be focusing on, cocktails and things, so it's going to be a lot of herbs and flowers and things.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's really neat.
Yeah.
It's this grow locally kind of concept.
Yeah, they wanted to be more in touch with their food and have fresher things, and so that's what they're doing. They're putting a little spot right in here, right in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we really appreciate it, Phil.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate this. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Of course.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. You want the belly scratching? Yeah, that's all right, isn't it?
We've got a cat cage we could take over.
Him?